All right, folks. Today's date is September 2nd, 2025. I'm going to basically be talking about a few changes that's happening to Earth. Um, bring up, I'm going to bring forth a few things that in this episode that to your attention that's pretty much happening, and we can't really ignore it. We just have to see it for what it is. We have to learn to make certain adjustment in the way we live actually, because what we are going through, when I say we, I'm talking about humanity on the whole, folks. We go through certain things um every so often, every couple of thousand years. We go through basically an event, and I'm choosing my words wisely here because I want you guys to really listen to what I'm saying. I'm not here to try to spread fear or try to mislead anyone. Is something I've been studying. I've been studying this topic for a long time. So I take a lot of pride in the information, gathering the information, and learning as much as I possibly can about what's really happening. For example, let me bring up a scenario what happened yesterday on September 1st in Afghanistan. A huge earthquake hit. It hit a location called Jalalabad in Afghanistan. I know that's a la la la, but that's the name of the city. Now, what happened there, folks, is something that's basically going to be on a global scale in the coming future. And I'm bringing that to your attention. I don't want you guys to think, oh, okay, it's just going to happen and then we're no longer going to hear anything about it. It's not going to happen again. It's going to be forgotten. No, 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 no. What I'm trying to say to you guys is that what happened in Afghanistan, it's something that's basically going to be on a regular basis because of what is called electromagnetic disturbances. And the electromagnetic disturbances, folks, it's coming from a binary system, and this is something I've talked about before, and I still do talk about it because I want people to be aware of it. It's a binary system that basically interact with our solar system every 3,600 and 54 years. It interact with our solar system, and there is basically nothing we can do about it. Now, on this particular planet that actually come into our solar system, when that binary system interact with our solar system, have basically celestial beings. You want to call them giant humans. You want to call them whatever you want to call them. They are who they are, and it's something that they do every couple of thousand years. They're basically these beings basically are the one who gave the information to the Sumerians, and the Sumerians are the first modern civilization in our cycle. That basically the way we live now, it's basically given to us from the Sumerian civilization. So we are basically an extension of that civilization. And that's who we are, guys. We had the Aztecs, we had the Atlanteans, we had the Mayans, we have the Atlants, we have all different type of civilization that was recorded in history. And but you know what they all have in common? At one point, all of these civilization comes to an end. And you probably thinking to yourself, what make us any different? At one point in that particular civilization, it will come to an abrupt end. All right. It's no if or but about it. We go through an event where something happened to us and we are formed into a new civilization. And I do believe this event that we go through, it will last for 200 years for this thing to be completely over with and move on into the new cycle. And part of that 200 years will go into the new cycle when it comes to the famine that we're going to go through, comes to the earthquake that we're going to go through, when it comes to the tsunami, you name it. Um, Now, going back to that earthquake, guys, 800 people died from it, man. 3,000 people are injured. At this point, they said 800, sorry, are dead, confirmed dead. They're still counting. So it can be a lot more. I know USGS have it listed as a 6.0 magnitude, but I think after doing more research, um, I've come to realize that I think it's a lot bigger than a 6.0 magnitude. But I'm just going to leave it at that because I've seen where earthquake happened and the readings, for some reason, they lowered the readings. I don't know why they're doing this, but they do it. And so whoever is doing it, well, I've noticed it. So also what happened over there in Russia back in July, that 8.8 magnitude that created that tsunami alert basically around the globe is these are the behaviors that are basically going to be on a, I would say, a normal scale. Now, the eastern part, as I said, today's September 2nd, 2025, the eastern part of the North American continent, places like Ohio is getting an earthquake right now. The New Madrid fault line is seeing a bunch of small activity. There's also swarms of quake happening in Nevada. There's a part in Nevada called Velmi, Nevada. I mean, they've had this past last week, maybe over 50 earthquake. They've had earthquake as big as 4.8. And after doing the research in this area, guys, I've come to realize that in this particular area, the ground is actually cracking. And it really has to do with craton thinning. Craton thinning is where basically the cratons is being pulled apart from each other because the magma underneath these cratons are heating up. So the upper crust of Earth become like an elastic. It starts stretches. Now also fault lines tug along these cratons and pull it apart. So that's why the eastern part of the North American continent is seeing so much activity. So when you think of places like New Jersey, Canada, Ottawa, Montreal, they're gonna see more of this. And also, you look at you know the Ring of Fire. When you talk about Japan, you talk about Indonesia, you talk about Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu Islands, Fiji. You talk about Tonga, Alaska, also all the way down to Northern California, Oregon, and Washington State. Now, the entire Pacific Ocean, that ring that goes around it, it's lighting up like no one's business, folks. This is basically what I'm trying to bring awareness to these activities, letting people know that this is our new norm. All right. Don't fear it. These are the changes that's happening to Earth. And we have to accept it, see it for what it is, learn to adjust ourselves, learn basically. I think what human civilization is missing is that they're not self-sufficient. So we really need to go back to that. We really need to go back to the days when we can actually produce our own food. We can actually create our own water to drink. I know there are still certain civilization out there that actually still do these things. But on a whole, especially in the Western world, we need to really go back to um, that way of living. And coming off topic a little bit, I saw something that says over 100,000 Japanese live to like 110, 105, 110. It's way over 100. And one of the reason I've come to realize why these people are living so long, longer than people in the Western world, is because These people are actually living off the land. A lot of these people are farmers. A lot of these people are very active. They ride a lot of do a lot of physical activity like riding bicycle. They do a lot of farming. They eat healthy. They don't eat processing food. They don't consume a lot of processed sugar and stuff like that. So kudos to those people in Japan. Japanese are actually living the longest, and I think the world needs to take a look at these type of people. And the reason why I'm saying this is because these are the people that are actually going to truly survive what's really ahead. And I know it's so crazy saying that, but hear me out. They're already living off the land. These people already know how to provide their own food, they know how to create their own water. A lot of these people are living in villages that don't even have electricity. So they already adapt to the fact that if anything happens to the grid, they already know how to survive because they're already doing it. So I take my hat off to these people because when Earth starts changing the way it's about to change, people that live in these countries are the one that's actually going to be able to withstand what's really coming. They already know how to be self sufficient. And I can't stress that enough. So, and again, you're going to see changes happening in places like Alaska with volcanic eruption. Now, let me get a little bit on volcanic eruption right now. The volcanic eruption that it's going to happen in places like Mount Spur. You'll see it in Mount Spur over there in Alaska. You're also going to see volcanic eruption happening on off the coast of Northern California. You'll also see this happening also creating problems for Oregon, the coastline of Oregon, Washington State. You're going to see volcanic eruption in Washington State, and Japan. You're going to see that happen in Japan, and also there's a super volcano that I'm keeping my eyes on over there in Italy, Mount Etna. These are things that actually are going to start happening on a large scale. And when these volcanic eruptions start happening, folks, what's happening is that new lands are actually being created. Land formation are actually being formed. And these new land formation are what's going to be utilized by the coming future civilization. Coastal land or cities around the globe are going to have a lot of issue and a lot of problem with sea level rising, ocean level rising, and this is because of the melting of the ice that's happening in Antarctica. Because what's going on right now in Antarctica, which like 2 weeks ago they had a huge earthquake. I think Antarctica got hit 8.0 magnitude, and after that they had a whole bunch of 6.0. I really don't do much videos on Antarctica because come on, who lived there? I know who lived there, but I don't want to get into that. But you get what I'm trying to say to you. So, because of these massive volcanic eruption that's taking place in Antarctica, it will create problem for coastline around the world for these cities. And this already, the funny thing about this conversation is that this already happened before. This is what the Atlanteans went through. Because when they came out the ice age 11,000 years ago, the ice started melting at the end of the ice age, and a lot of these coastal Atlantean city, were actually founded along the coastline because they were a marine civilization. They traveled the entire globe and they use a lot of ships for that. So they were actually importing, exporting with other people around the world. And especially in the Caribbean, you can actually find a lot of artifacts of um, ancient Atlantean cities under the water, the Caribbean water. So the Caribbean was actually used as a base for this civilization. And believe it or not, a lot of these islands in the Caribbean, they used to be joined. but because of the increase in water level rising, a lot of these places, they went underwater. So we still have that situation we got to deal with because the ice now in Antarctica is melting. And it's a lot of ice that's melting, folks. And this is due to the fact of the eruption that's happening under the ice sheet. I would say hundreds and hundreds of volcano right now is going off. And there's uplift that's happening too with the land. The magma is pushing the surface of the land higher, basically. So and you'll notice this a lot more around, especially in Axel Simon volcano. And that is a volcano off the coast of Northern Carolina, North California, sorry, Northern California, and also Oregon. It's like 300 miles out in the water. Um, I don't know how deep it is under the ocean, but I don't think it's 300 miles. I'm sorry. I think it's 300 meters. I'm sorry, 300 meters out in the ocean. But there's a lot of uplift that's taking place right now in that location, and a lot of ground cracks is also happening, which is also triggering earthquake along the Cascade subduction zone. So locations like the Cascade subduction zone is going to be hotspots for earthquakes and really, really big earthquakes too in the coming future. And these big earthquakes are going to create tsunamis. If they go as big as 9.8 or 10.0, they can actually create a 90-foot tsunami because it already happened before. It happened at the beginning of the 17th century, and it took out the ghost force that was actually located in Oregon. So it's not like the North American continent haven't seen this. It happened 300 years ago. So it's something, and you could actually trace back to 10,000 years where this part of the world went through that. The Cascade subduction zone, once it started acting up, then what comes with it, it's just a crazy tsunami. And again, folks, I'm just here to inform. I'm not here to spread fear with none of my information. It's just informing people. I do believe it's a great way to get people ready, to get them prepared. And I do believe knowing is half the battle. So if I can get you ready, you don't have to, if I can keep you ready, you don't have to get ready when this thing start going off. And it's not if, it's just a matter of when. And it's something that's actually right around the corner because if you're paying attention to what's really happening on a global scale, look at what's happening in Spain with these climate, what's happening to the world, the earth is changing with the fire that's going on right now in Spain and Portugal. That's one example I'm going to bring up. Look what happened to Russia. Off the coast of Russia, that 8.8 that created a global, basically, tsunami alert, basically all over the globe. Look what happened now in Afghanistan, where 800 plus people died. I'm just bringing up random situation, what's really going on, and look at the ice that's melting in Antarctica. Nothing is no longer the norm. It's not what we are used to. It happened before, but us modern humans in this existing cycle, which is 3,654 years, we're not used to seeing this. We're not. But it doesn't mean it hadn't happened before. It has. Sometimes it's on a bigger scale, sometimes it's on a smaller scale. But every couple of thousand years, 3,654 years, we go through an event where, with this event, is because of a binary system, 7 planets, 4 moons, and one of that planet at the end of that binary system will enter our solar system. And it's already in our solar system. You want to call it Nemesis, you want to call it Nibiru, you want to call it, um, some people actually call it Wormwood. The Hopi tribe, the Hopi Indians, they actually call it red and blue Kachina. And it's not like it's two different objects, it's the same object. It's just that it all depends on how where you're at on the planet looking at the object. that will give you that red or blue color because of refraction, light refraction, not reflection. I said refraction. Okay. And that's why the Hopi will either see it sometimes red or will see it sometimes blue. So that's why they call it the red or blue Kachina. It is the same object as you want to call it Planet X, Nibiru, whatever. It's the same thing. But once we as humans start acknowledging the fact that Earth's changing, things are happening, we need to um, basically mentally, more than ever, mentally. If you didn't start doing it yet physically, at least start training yourself mentally that the way we live now, it's not going to last forever. And things are changing, and it's changing at a very, very fast pace. And so, by with the changes that's going on with Earth and the new land formation that this planet is actually creating, especially, for example, look in Africa. Africa is splitting in two. And I really do believe that the New Madrid fault line, actually, the Mississippi River is listed as the most dangerous river in the world due to the fact that ground cracks are hundreds of them were found at the bottom of that river. So what's happening there on the New Madrid fault line is that it's splitting in two. There's a map circulating, a Navy map about the North American continent, the future of the North American continent, and it shows that it actually split in three different pieces. And one of the biggest split that happened to the North American continent runs straight all the way up the Mississippi River along the New Madrid fault line. And they found evidence of cracks, ground cracks under the Mississippi River. So again, as I keep saying to you folks, this is just to get you guys ready, keep you aware. And this is the only reason why I do these episodes. So if you're in places like New York, my friends over there in New York, New Jersey, you're going to get a lot more seismic activity in the future. Ohio will see more. Montreal, Ottawa, Maine, Massachusetts will see a lot more. South Carolina. And this is because of cratonic thinning. The Atlantic ridge is putting against the eastern craton that's on the North American continent, because the North American continent, believe it or not, is made up of six cratons. Okay, so there is a tugging going on the eastern craton, which is one of the biggest craton out of the six. So there's a pull going on. So that's why these seismic activities are happening. And the more this incoming planet that I'm talking about get closer to Earth, that gravitational pull will get stronger and stronger. The electromagnetic disturbances will get stronger and stronger. And these tug and pull will start getting worse. So once they start getting worse, for folks, these seismic activity will start increasing on a bigger scale. It will also be more quantity of more of them because of the secondary gravitational pull is getting worse because it's getting stronger, and which of course is the reason why our electromagnetic field is weak. So that's also why during the summer it's so hot. It's not like the planet is getting really, really, really hot, guys. The reason why it gets so hot during the summer is simply because the electromagnetic field is a lot weaker. So the UV ray that come from the sun, it doesn't protect us the way it used to anymore. It actually let in a lot more than it usually do. So that's why we have this intense heat during the summer times. And when we have this intense heat, what comes after that, especially out in the Atlantic Ocean, which create a lot of hurricanes, these hurricanes are going to get worse because the planet is just getting, there's more UV ray coming through the electromagnetic field. And the reason why is because of the electromagnetic disturbances that's happening to our planet. And this is basically the core of the changes on our planet. This is the main reason, is basically what's in the sky and what's headed towards us. All right. So I'm just want to put this information out there. I just want to do a quick episode, get it out, getting people aware. Um, I will still keep doing this episode. And once again, thank you guys for always supporting me. I really do appreciate it. Stay blessed, and I hope this information helps someone out there. I really do appreciate your support, folks.